I work for an organization that deals in the unexplainable part too. Hello, it's Pepper again. I appreciate everyone who took the time to read the last story. However, I like to emphasize the point of the story was not for entertainment but as a tale to be weary. People of the world are ignorant of the horrors around them, which is partially the fault of the organization I work for. I have another one for you, and this one is especially scary to me. Unlike the yonder from my last story, which has been documented several times and is somewhat understood by the organization, there are only 2 living people who have seen and survived this entity I'm about to list. I am one of them. This was almost 11 years ago. I had only worked at the organization for roughly 5 months. This was the first case I was ever allowed on. I was a level 4 field agent at the time, which meant I wasn't allowed to be on a case alone and had to be placed with a level 2 field agent. The organization doesn't require you to be a tank of a human to work there. Due to the high turnover rate, most field agents don't live past their first year.